Please work, please. Did I do this properly? Walak, yalla, I have 2 minutes. Am I streaming? I don't even know how this works, man. Wee, walak. 1 second. Test. 1, 2, 5, 6, 3, 4. Okay, now there's a delay. I don't like it. There's like a 20-second delay. I don't know how to change it. Whatever. If you guys know how to do it, I'll do it. But yani, I'm not sure how to get it done. Okay. I thought I could get this set up way quicker, but apparently not. You have a world-class professional, huge artist watching. You won already. It's done, man. GG, khalas. Okay, look. I thought I could get this done way earlier, but I was playing with the settings and everything. YouTube changed all the things. So, I'm bearish for the day, for now, until something changes. But I see how we can bounce aggressively in the opening 30 minutes, first opening range. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, but in the beginning, yani. Maybe, most likely, possibly, we scalp some buys based on what I'm looking at. For now, nothing, okay? What I'm gonna do is drag a profile from here to here. Look how it's inefficient at this point. We have sellers come in, getting absorbed. I'd normally take a buy here, but it's too fast, too quick for me. Let me turn this bullshit off here. Okay, excuse the language. Okay, done. Bears for the day, but I see how we can bounce. Let's take some nice buy scalps before looking for a nice juicy short. If possible, we already dumped. How much? We dumped 1.4% pre-market. So we can use that information to our advantage. Let's see. Let me make sure this video is up here. Okay, notify. Let's close this. Close. Bro, please teach me how to make millions. Done. Just wire all of your money to me, and we'll get it done from there, man. Just become a billionaire, wire 999 million to me, and you'll be a millionaire, man. Don't you worry, man. Okay, look at these sellers come in. This buyer comes in. These sellers showing result now. Still nothing in terms of the buy side, unless we go and clear this volume, bounce off a value area low with some seller absorption. We're very bearish for the day, so we're not going to be super aggressive and force a buy scalp, but I see how it can happen. I'm more into taking some nice shorts today. This is the 1 minute chart on the left. We have the 40 range chart on the bottom right. We have the 5 minute chart on the top right. All right. It's a good Friday. Okay, look at this buyer showing result now. Let's see how these sellers react. Right here, 204, massive, showing no result now. Either it's a reload or a squeeze higher. I'm not seeing anything though. Nothing significant for me to take a trade. All I can do is analyze what's going on. Yeah, I'm not muted. Wait. So I'm medium term bearish until something shifts, and that means for the whole day. Until something shifts. But I see how we can take a buy scalp to squeeze higher and then position short at a premium price. So we're going to take advantage of that exactly. Let's see where the delta is at relative to price. So I think price should squeeze above here. Let me remove these drawings because this was from last stream. Drawing utilities, erase all drawing. Yes, I'm sure. Okay. Here, drawing utilities, erase all drawing. Yes, I am sure. Okay, finish. Now let's do it again. Let's actually drag a better, more medium-term profile from here to here. Look at this buying delta here. So I'm just gonna mark that down. Massive buyers got screwed over here, right next to the VWAP too. We have our POC, point of control. So maybe we can just find a nice buy scalp up to there. That would be the goal. But I'm not seeing anything in terms of buys. No information telling me to buy. Even this buyer, even these sellers. All I see is a seller come in, so result, come back up, seller reload. But it's still not interesting for me to sell either. So I'm just going to sit and wait. Because we already moved 1.4%, 1.5% pre-market. And throughout the last 2 weeks, what we've seen is when you have those movements, usually stay sideways. But because it's a Friday, maybe something can change. I checked our calendar. We don't really have any news coming up. But let's see how you respond. The value area low is actually at the low. So that should give us some sort of explosive move. But we know we have a massive buying delta from this point. Let's localize the profile a little bit more and see how it shifts. Ooh, now if you put it from here to here, you have your value area high at the buying delta. And you have these, yeah, you still have the same cluster. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay. Look at these massive sellers came in exactly at the point of control. That's why I'm not interested in taking that trade. Because usually at the point of control, it's the point of price where most of the volume is transacted, and therefore you have a potential to sit on it and you don't want to take a trade. Look at this buyer get absorbed, comes in, sellers use that as an opportunity to reload. Delta's climbing up, price is staying down, there's a divergence there, sellers are really trying to take control, but it tells us one of two things. Either buyers are setting up to accumulate and then further squeeze once the sellers capitulate and clear their orders from the book, or sellers are completely absorbing these buyers and we're heading straight down. But I don't have any information more than this to enter a trade and capitalize off of it. So what I'm gonna do now is sit. But if we have anything new, we'll enter it. Even a new buyer comes in. Okay, let me drag a profile from here to here. Still very empty. So I don't want to be the person that enters a buy at this point to squeeze up to this zone just for us to come back down. It's not worth it for me. Yeah, it's OPEX today too. That's probably why we dumped. You know, market makers hedging, possibly. Okay, there's our break at the recent low. Nothing I can take a trade on so far. Look at the delta just keep climbing. So buyers are really trying to take control of this level. But nothing I can take action on so far. I don't like this delay. Let me see the delay exactly from the candle. Yeah, it's a 20-second delay. Nah, I want maximum 5 seconds. I don't know how to change that. I'm sorry, guys. It's not that much of a problem, but to those who are trading or watching charts, it's nice so you interact with it, you know? Like you see what I'm saying at real time. But it's okay, it's okay. The main reason I'm doing this is to build a track record, not really. Look at this delta keep climbing. It's the complete opposite of price. You can even see it here. Look at this. Red candle, green delta. Red candle, green delta. Buyers know of this. You're not delayed to me. No, I know there's a delay. Because like my candle right now is on 15 seconds and on the video it's like at 36. So there is a delay. When I was doing it on the other platform, there was almost no delay. It's from OBS. Next stream, help you set it up. Stream is great, clean fire. Thank you, man. Okay, done. I'll keep that in mind. Okay, look. So now we're reacting off a value area low. It looks very bearish to me. I would never take a buy here unless I have some new information. With the information I have currently, nothing is interesting. Look, the delta is at where it was at the highs over here, but price is at the lows. Let's see what happens. I expect some aggressive sellers to come in, and if they get absorbed, you know what we're doing. Because I'm bearish for the day, but I can see how we can climb up. So let's see. So what I'm expecting is one of these purple bubbles to come in and exactly like this setup over here, right? To completely get absorbed and then just move up. And then we can come down. Just based on this delta, that's half of the story, but I need to see some active participation, some active aggression from these sellers and buyers to then take price higher and we can trade the absorption. But I'm still macro bearish, so I'm not gonna force anything unless I really see that setup. That's why I'm not just taking a bounce off a value area low. No, it's not enough information for me. Thank you, brother. Look at this delta, just keeps climbing. This is, yeah, it is climbing, but we're still in negative territory. This is minus 2,500 contracts. You know, we've just been dropping for the whole day. So, but you don't usually use this CVD, cumulative volume delta, for a larger term. Usually use it for a shorter term. No seller absorption, no interaction, not even on here, which my filter is set to 60. You have to stop, bro. Stop stroking it and watching me, man. Stop doing that, man. We didn't do anything yet, man. You have to stop giving out this knowledge for free. What are you talking about, bro? I didn't say anything, man. Okay, anytime. Let's see how this 5-minute close. Look at this. I haven't seen this in a long time. Massive red candle, but the delta's positive. That's, to me, is huge control from the sellers, but I can see the attempt from the buyers. They're really trying. So you know it's gonna move heavily in. Look at this, man. It's gonna move in either direction very aggressively. I just can't take a trade on here in this zone. I need more info. I really want to capitalize off of the opening volume, which is what we're seeing now, but I just don't have enough info. I can't. It's too risky. If it was a sell, I would take it, but it's not a sell. It's a buy. I'm taking a counter trend trade. I need some more information. I need to be sure. If I was working at a bank doing this, I'd get fired. Delta is through the roof right now. Same point. We reject off of these buyer absorption and the seller coming in. So I'm gonna mark this as a acceleration zone right here. So that means basically if price pierces through it, I know where to start protecting myself. I know where price is supposed to speed up. I know where orders are supposed to be accumulated. So let us mark it down as a acceleration zone here. Red. Vroom. There. Red. Okay. Let us extend it. Because why not? Just for now. Yeah, guys, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I think we're just gonna have to wait patiently because I don't want to be trading chop. If we're trading chop, it's a very bad idea. There we go. Some seller absorption there. Let's see if he gets some results. Yes, showing some sign of result. I don't want to interact with that just yet. Another seller here, but I can't take this absorption because he's showing some result. So maybe there's a reload once we test him. Don't want to be a buyer in this type of condition. Let me just load my bullets just for a bit. I'm not entering anything here. I'm just in case we spike down, we get some absorption. Okay. Look how we bounce off of this guy right here. Ooh. bounced right at the where he got absorbed. But the only problem is there's another seller here who's showing result, which means you can come up here, enter, and then it's a reload of the same seller, and we capitulate. I don't want to be involved with that. Like there, look, this buyer comes in, gets absorbed. What I can do is something like this, right? But it's just too heavy of absorption, where if we get a breach of that 67 buyer, yeah, guys, even if it happens, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. This is a point of price where you play defense. But it would have looked something like this, where we breach the 67 buyer and put a stop loss under this seller. Because as soon as we breach this buyer, you have an incentive for all of this cluster of buyers here to reload, and then we breach up over here. But it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous because of the initial result of this person. So I would prefer not to take this, actually. Can you please gamble the money you make from it? 100%, man. We're gonna take all the money I have in my account, or we're just gonna put it all in one trade right now. Are you with that? You wanna do that right now? Let's do it, man. Come on, I'll do it for you. Okay? That's the only way that we do it here, man. Man, you're crazy. Okay, look, so price comes up, rejects off the same buyer that got absorbed, sellers coming for a reload. It's dangerous. I'm not interested in this. I think sellers are setting up for a squeeze. Let me check the other chart, 1 second. Yeah, man, this looks like, because we're at a 1.3% gap down. That's probably why the delta is so high. We haven't had a gap down like this in a while. So my guess is, ooh, look at that. Wait, hold on. Yo, that's huge. Oh, that's huge, man. I wasn't fast enough, but still. What I was about to say is my guess we have a massive acceleration to the downside, and then we start filling that gap. Look how these huge sellers got absorbed. This is what I wanted to see, but just based on looking at the gap down and understanding that we haven't had one like this in a while, I think we're going to accelerate even further. So I'm really not going to take a counter trend trade in this type of environment. I'm really not going to do that. Now look at the delta collapse. All these buyers, they're getting out. They're getting out. Now we have that acceleration to the downside, and then maybe take a buy. But I think it's too late, because I wanted to take the buy in the first 15 minutes. So I'm just going to stick to what I know now, and I think I'm only going to go sells unless I see something really, really interesting. Nothing interesting for now. We'll have to wait. I don't see any trades. Unless you're just clicking market sell and taking like a more of a swing trade. But that's not the... Look at this delta collapse. Wow, look at that. I love this stuff so much. I love tracking order flow, watching the auction. But we saw this buyer get absorbed here. We saw these sellers initially show result. That's why we didn't want to enter any buys. Maybe we could have entered a sell off of these guys, but still nothing interesting. Because I trade a dual system and they both have to... Okay, wait. Nah, I'm not interested. Never mind. They both have to come together. It can't be one or the other. So like this would have been like a nice buy for me, but looking at that amount of orders that came in over here, I'm just so sure that it's just gonna keep accelerating down. But I still don't have an entry. Like, yeah, we just saved ourselves from a stop loss there. Because the worst case scenario is price completely... We have one flush down, maybe like 200 points, 150 points, and then we just start consolidating, chop for the day. And that's an environment we just don't want to be in, you know? Because we've traded those on stream, and you just get chop, stop loss, and then price eventually later in the day moves to your direction. Okay, let's see how, if these sellers use it as a reload level. I'd usually take this like as a limit sell, stop loss over the previous big seller, but yeah, I'm not interested in this. We reached our value area low. There's your squeeze. Seller reload at this point, showing result. Nothing interesting. I take a stop like this, but it's getting very aggressive. Let's see how sellers react onto this zone. Okay. Because we filled all this void now. So if I drag this here, you'll see it much more full, but still. Okay. Right click. Properties. Solid dot. I hate how you can't make this invisible. Reaction off of this buyer here. Buyer absorption in this case. We can do something like this. But still, why dump and squeeze this high not to touch your acceleration level? That's what I'm thinking. Now I'm expecting a squeeze. Nothing I can enter on. Let's see if we drag a profile from this local area like this. Yeah, squeeze value area high, squeeze out of value, book gets thin in this case, and you should go up and test VWAP. Yeah, it's gonna be more of a patient day. I can tell. Look at this 5 minute candle closer. Wow, look at that delta. It's like a rat's tail. Yeah, let's see. So once you get into this acceleration level, you should squeeze up and at least touch VWAP, if not value area high of the range. Because sellers got completely demolished at this zone. And it goes well with the delta climbing and then collapsing. And then buyers choosing to step back in. For what reason? I don't know. We don't know yet. We don't know what's going to happen to price. I see how price can bounce, but I also see how price can collapse, which is I'm just being more conservative. Put it all on red, man. Okay. Let's see, check my 10 minute. I can't be forcing anything in this type of environment. Okay, so buyers completely got crushed at this level, but still no information. All I know is that this is our range high for the opening and this is our low for the opening, but nothing else. I know sellers had a result, but now are stuck in the middle. I know buyers showed a result, but now are stuck in the middle. I know these sellers showed a result. I know these buyers got absorbed. It's the same story on either side, but the only telling difference is that for the whole day, you had seller aggression and seller control, which leans it towards the sell side. But if you were consolidating for the day, then it would be 50-50 for now. But because you had this aggression the whole day, you know, it's a bit tough. So if we go over here and we extended trading hours session, we turn that off. Now you have the cash session only, and you can really take a look at this gap down. You don't want to continue down with a massive gap like this. You want to kind of fill the void. So that's kind of why I'm expecting a squeeze, but it's too violent for me to just anticipate and take any seller absorption, especially with the number of contracts that were coming up here. I would have most likely taken profit, not even trailed my stop loss, because I understand how aggressive this can get. So with this massive gap down, it's around 1.3% from the high to the open, 1.38%. I'm not interested in taking that buy unless we have some serious information, but I'm also not interested in shorting unless we get some initiative, because we're going to need some serious news to continue to collapse us down. So let's give another example. Like for example here, look how you gapped up open, you kept moving up, but then what happened later? You came down and you filled this gap. It's usually what happens and what I see happens. So I'm not interested in being more aggressive in this auction unless I have more information. Look at the seller come in, get completely absorbed. So as soon as the seller comes in, you see the candle tick up, which means there's a passive buyer saying, hey, you're not going anywhere. I'm going to absorb you. But now he's showing result. But I think now you'll have some more aggressive buyers coming just based on this chain of buyers. We have a large cluster over here. So something you can do is take a buy stop and put my stop loss here, right? But it's still not enough information for me. I trade a dual system and they both have to align. And the reason I like this trade is because we're next to our acceleration zone, so I know price is going to get very aggressive once we get there. Very aggressive. Okay, so the 1 minute candle closed green, so price is accepting of the value. Okay, so now you touch into your acceleration zone. I think these sellers capitulate and just let go of their positions and just let the price run, personally. That's what I see happening. But not enough information for me to capitalize on and risk my full amount. So if I was in that trade, I would have been risk-free here, 100%. Why? Because this is a potential for sellers to reload. But especially how we're testing VWAP. But still, it's too aggressive in my opinion. It's way too aggressive. Because if we squeeze higher for the day, great. You know, we'll find those nice trades. This looks actually really decent. Okay, this is our cash opening. Let me mark that down so we have it down right here, and it's right above our VWAP. So let's see if we can get some new information. I don't think so. Okay, that's new information, but you have to be much faster than that. It would have been something like this maybe, possibly, but still nothing. Delta completely recovered. The 5 minute candle closed aggressively with high volume. Buyers are willing to participate in a squeeze. What I prefer to see here, if price is really going to squeeze for longer and not just be something short term, is price to sit and consolidate around this zone to give buyers the opportunity to accumulate orders and let it not be a short-lived move. Because if they want this to be a short-lived move, we're just going to squeeze maybe 30%, maximum 50 of the range, and then start to come back down and then chop and maybe fill it again next week. But if we want to see us continue and accelerate higher, we need to accumulate. Go sideways, accumulate. Give buyers opportunity to accumulate a larger quantity of orders. Fill the books and go higher. Look, price comes down, completely rejects the seller. Let's see what happens. So exactly as the price comes down to this person again, comes back down, rejects the seller. So you can tell there's massive amounts of liquidity at this point. I don't really use the heat map, but if you were to use the heat map, you would see it over there. But I don't personally use it. Okay, I'm liking how the seller has a result. We reached the VWAP, rejected the highs. Let's see if we can enter anything. Nothing so far. This was our cluster of buyers here, so if these fail, we know what's happening to price. Yeah, guys, I'm just going to be much more patient with this one. It's too dangerous if I am taking either trades in either direction. Because I am sensing some chop. I don't like trading chop. I like controlled volatility. Directional volatility. Okay, so we close heavy under our cluster of buyers. Okay. Let's see. Value area low tests. I'm curious to see the interaction of these sellers. Because this would be an acceleration zone now. Look at this huge cluster. So if price wicks through these orders, you should see price go down aggressively. Because it gives confidence to the sellers that the biggest orders in the book that came in aggressively are being rewarded. So it just leaves a higher degree of probability that the buyers who held price up capitulate. But the question I'm trying to answer now, look how we come back down, the seller comes in at the same price. The question I'm trying to ask now is, are we in a zone of compression? Because I cannot ignore the fact that we moved down 1.4% pre-market. Usually when I've seen that in the past 2 to 3 weeks at least, is we have compression during the New York session. Another cluster. So this guy is aggregating his orders. I can tell. So he probably has a bunch of 30s, 30s, 30s also that I can't see because my filter is too high. But 60, 60 comes in at this point of price. What I can do is put a buy stop and a stop loss over them. Sorry, a sell stop and a stop loss over them. We can attempt it. Let's attempt it. Because if price squeezes
Order
down
partially filled.
and these guys get
Absorbed,
I know where I'm wrong, right? But if they start to pull their orders in again,
Order
great.
partially
Okay,
filled.
so now we're wrong on that one.
Order filled.
I just wanted to give it a test because I could see these orders coming in.
Order cancelled.
And it was worth a try. But if we now bounce up and we do the exact same thing we did over here and come back down to the middle, okay, we're in compression for sure. I don't want to deal with that. Let me turn my notifications off. Done. Look how the delta actually didn't even budge much. So now I can tell these sellers got absorbed. So the buyers are in control for now. Where are they going to go next? Let's see how we react to our acceleration zone. Okay. Oops. Yeah, the delta's way higher than it was when we were initially here before, at this point of price. Delta should show a cluster here. Let me localize it a little bit more. Yeah, okay, there's the buyer come in showing some sort of result. This is our buyer acceleration zone. We know these sellers are absorbed. These sellers are showing no result. Possible squeeze. Squeeze up to the highs over here. Can take something like this. If we breach this zone, yeah, I can't take it now.
Order cancelled.
So I had a limit order, so if we come back down here, it would have filled me in, but because we're breaching this zone, if we breach this zone and we come back down, like if this buyer gets absorbed, it's a failed auction, and I can't be in a buy at that point. But it was nice absorption here now that we're looking at it. yeah, massive passive sellers at this point, you can see. So all of these buyers initially were getting wrecked. Now this aggressive buyer came in, and I would short this, but we're still in a zone of compression, and I don't want to, not the same idea, but I don't want to take the same type of loss because we're in a region of compression where I put my sell here and we're just going up and down for the whole day, and then I look at it at the end of the day and just say, hey, I just shouldn't have traded this. So that's the way I'm kind of protecting myself now. Luckily, it's only 1 hour for now. Nothing bigger. We didn't get slipped or anything. Look how the delta is climbing. This is absolutely crazy. How the delta is the highest it's been throughout the whole day. Sorry, throughout the whole session, cash session. Yet price is just completely ignoring it. All on mathematical probabilities. Mufasa undercover, huh? Wonder who that could be, man. Okay, seller absorption once again. Can try this. Let's just try this. I'm liking the sellers try to interact with the zone again, and the buyers pushing up. So I'm betting now if the price goes up from here, because of the delta, we can squeeze way higher. And my stop loss is
Order
going to be under these
partially
sellers.
filled.
Wait.
Order filled.
Let me put this up over here. And I'll protect myself at this acceleration zone. I just really like how the delta is coming up. So it's just giving me an indication that we really can squeeze. Wait, it's on at 500. Wait. Yeah, there, that's better. Because if this buyer materializes, we're good.
Order
We're
partially
good.
filled.
But still, once again, chop. This
Order
buyer now
filled.
got absorbed.
Order
And
cancelled.
we have a really wide range. So if we can capitalize on that wide range, great. But buyer absorbed. We initially came down here. Sellers absorbed. So we tried to capitalize off of this aggressive buyer coming in, and but we haven't seen any results, anything materialize. Let's see if we can re-engage, a possible re-engage. Okay. I like how he bounced off of value area low too. Let's try it again. I'll try this one more time. If price breaches
Order
this area,
partially filled.
let's try to take it to our acceleration.
Order filled.
Here. Because I'm expecting price
Order
to get very
partially
aggressive.
filled.
Yeah. Okay. So now this
Filled.
this zone, I can't take the same
Order
idea.
cancelled.
I can't take the same idea again. Because now it's showing to me for sure we have a much higher degree of probability that we're stuck in compression. So what I'm going to wait for is for us to really breach this acceleration zone, and then we can profit off of the buys if we move up, right? But for now, I'm going to wait for us to breach this compression unless we have some new information that gives us some data to capitalize off of. But now what I'm seeing is these buyers are getting really exhausted. They're trying to push price up. Look at the delta climbing, the price diverting. Sellers are controlling of the auction right now. But I can see the exact same setup right here, where these massive sellers come in, get absorbed, and price rallies back up to the range high. We know where the range high is now. So we can't take this setup again unless we have new information. These buyers are not enough. We need something new. And luckily our range is wide, like we said before, so we can really capitalize off of that if it is going to range. Yeah, I'm really liking this delta. Okay. Because of that, let me heat this up. So locked in, I didn't even what's it called? I didn't even drink my coffee. Have to heat it up. Huh? Okay. So we're at our acceleration zone now. A little bit of absorption. The reason I like that trade is because I know it will happen very fast. And really aggressive too, especially with this huge gap. Okay, buyer gets absorbed. Let me go back to this chart. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, just complete compression. So either this is gonna be a short stream and we just call it a day, but I'm willing to wait the whole day to see if we leave this range, because I know if we leave this range it's gonna get aggressive. There's gonna be some nice opportunities. Why not? You know, it's Friday. It's the last this is the last day of the week in terms of trading. Why not? We'll sit through it together. You know, we'll sit through it. I don't know if I can play music. I don't want to have this video deleted in the future. I want to have all my videos up, and that's why I started streaming here, because Kick was removing my videos, and I didn't realize. I wanted to go look through all of them, and there was only 3. I'm like, hey, I streamed more than 3 times. It was like 7, 8 times. But I don't want somebody coming to me telling me, hey, you're deleting the videos. I don't want to do that. So I know YouTube has my videos up from 2.5, 3 years ago. So I'm keeping those. So I'm keeping streaming on here. Yeah, because we attempted the sell over here, right? With a sell stop looking for a potential squeeze, right? Delta was still high, but we could see how the sellers could take control. We attempted a buy stop here. Stop loss, sorry, it was this one. Buy stop, let me just make sure where it was, show historical orders. Yeah, so the sell stop here, the buy stop twice at the same kind of idea, but I didn't want to attempt it again. Show historical orders, I like this seller getting absorbed. That's new information, by the way. So what I can do is something like this if we do breach, but I really want to wait for us to leave this compression. I'd prefer that. But at the same time, I really want to capitalize off of the squeeze. It's like watching a boxing match and we're waiting for the knockdown. Yes, sir, yeah. Something like this. Nah. Even if it does, I'm not gonna feel anything. I'm not gonna feel any sense of FOMO, because I just know that it's a high degree that we compress, but I can see how this can squeeze higher. So I'm just gonna wait for it to leave the range, and then we can capitalize off of that. Look at this delta; it's making me go nuts. No way. Yeah, okay, good. I didn't spill it. Because the next trade we take, we have to be conservative. We can't look for a home run. We have to recover some of the loss. We can't have a trade go up to 4R or 3R in profit and just not risk keeping it. We can't risk just holding the trade. We need to secure the profit. And then we can be more aggressive. Look at this buyer coming. I'm liking this now. We don't want the same setup as here for the sell side, but in terms of buyer absorption. Okay. Liking this so far. Look at these buyers aggressively come in. We just broke the range. Okay. Unfortunate that we got stopped on this one, but it's okay. Let's see what happens now. Let me just enter this, put this in. Let me align it. Let's see if we can test this zone and see if something happens. If we take a stop like this, still nothing interesting at this point. Okay, so we just broke the session high. You can see it from here. But I wanted to prove to me that we're not in compression. Like if we start coming back down and we continue to the median of the zone, now it becomes tough to trade. But if we come back down to the value area high and buyers get more aggressive, now that's interesting. But if we start moving down, coming back up, what do? We can't force trades in this environment, because you see how we got stopped out here, the same thing's just gonna happen. The same thing will just keep happening then. Nice 1 minute candle closure. Buyers accepting of this price. Let's check on the delta on the 5 minute candle. Lower but still high. Seller gets completely absorbed in this case. Okay, now it's showing some sort of result. Let's see if we can do something like this. I'm not liking it. I wanted to prove to me we're not in compression. We'll find a nice trade. I know. Everybody wants to see a nice trade. Everybody wants to see the big win. But the big win comes when we see it. Right now, it's nothing. Wow, you know. Look at this seller get absorbed right here. So I can do something like this. If we do come test it, but if we breach, it's holding the line. Not liking it anymore. Yeah, because
Order
if
cancelled.
it comes down after this buyer gets absorbed, then sellers can take control. But I'm not interested now, only because this buyer came in. Because if this buyer gets absorbed and we get filled over here and we go back down, I know there's passive liquidity over here just controlling the auction and leading us to compression. Nothing at this point. Let me turn on our... see what happens. Yeah, I knew there was a zone over here. Had to be. We want to see you win. It takes time. No stress. Yeah, man. No stress. No, we should find some great trades for today. I can already feel it. But I think it's going to come later in the session. That's the issue. But we know at this point of price, buyers are in control. Yeah, it's one of those days where the trade comes later in the session. I can just already feel it. I'm looking at my trading view charts and all my levels, and I think we get a trade later in the session. So why just risk capital if that's not going to be there, you know? Let's just wait for it. I'd rather be way more patient with it. If we can get a rejection at here, this was the... what was this zone again? This was the massive selling delta. Let me just remind myself. Massive buyers. I remember now. The big buying delta. Yeah, right here. So let's see if we can actually breach this zone and show me some confidence from buyers, and then I can, because look at this on the left. It's the biggest node we have in the whole profile. It's even bigger than the selling node, which got completely absorbed, which is on the buy side. So all these sellers got absorbed. They're getting screwed right now. And all these buyers pre-market were trapped. But now they're at the same price. So what are they going to do? Close their orders and flip the auction? Or are they going to use this as a point to get more aggressive? So that's the question I'm trying to answer right now, because our delta is slowly approaching neutral. And once we're delta neutral, notice how the delta is higher than it was at this point of price. We can really squeeze higher. So that would be your, let me just mark this point of price so I can make sure I know. Drawing tools from other chart, 1 minute. Yeah, that would be your kind of 50% of the range. Okay, I see. Ooh, 1 minute, let's close that. Okay, here, remove. Okay. I usually give myself like 2 or 3 opportunities to really take aggressive trades, and I already kind of took them, which was the sell here when I saw these aggressive sellers come in at the same point of price, trying to materialize that squeeze down, and the buy stop with this buyer over here, but we got chopped out. We were right on the idea, but wrong on the timing and the execution. And that's fine, right? It's gonna happen, but I'm just gonna wait for it, because I think now we're gonna pull back nicely, and if we can accumulate for the next 5 to 10 minutes, that's what the A plus setup would look like for me. So if we can come back down and test this delta right here, which is what was our initial acceleration zone, that would be best case scenario for me. So because of that, and I know the plan, I'll be back. Give me a second. Nothing yet. Okay, understood. This was our session high. Let me declutter the chart. Remove this. We don't need this. We don't need this. This is still interesting because it's our value area high, coinciding with our delta. If we drag our profile from here, sellers trying to protect, trapped. That's why I'm expecting some sort of pullback. Aggression of the sellers to then show some confidence from the buyers, and we can take a trade. Yeah, guys, I can already see this is gonna be like a 3-hour stream. This is gonna be a 3-hour stream. I can already see it happening. Because we can either take the continuation of the squeeze if we get a retrace, or we can squeeze without any retrace and then take the reversion and the aggression of the sellers once again. And I like those more because those are much more aggressive, and we can just start trailing our stop if we're in profit. like we did last session. We have a nice 4-hour candle. I can see how we can squeeze higher, but I really would prefer a retrace. An aggressive retrace. Sellers try to take control again, absorption of sellers, and we'll take a buy off of that. That's the plan for now. We've been live for an hour now. 3 executions, 1 hour. If we had a massive buyer coming over here, I would have entered short, but we didn't have that sort of interaction, so I can't. Computer says no. Yeah, we're gonna be here for a while, I can tell. Look at this 5-minute candle. The seller's really trying to take control here. That's what I would have loved to see, some buyer absorption at the wicks of this candle. Possible trade in the next 5 minutes. If we can retrace to our value area high, see an absorption of sellers or aggression of buyers, we can take a trade there. Let me see how the rest of the indices are looking. Dow, S&P, Russell, Hong Kong, China, UK. Here's the FTSE, here's the Nikkei, here's the DAX, here's the Aussie index. Oil's ripping. Silver's down 8% for the day. Gold down 2%. Okay, let's see this over here. Let's see if sellers can aggress. I like that absorption, but it's not enough for me. I think they're gonna continue because we haven't reached our value area high. This is exactly what I want to see, but at this zone over here. So that's why I don't think it's enough. So we just saved ourselves from a stop. Okay. Buyer's trying, buyer's trying. Okay, let me sit with my triggers ready. I think we can flush down very aggressively, and that will be our opportunity to enter. Let me do this, okay? Remove, now we have this marked down. Let me localize this, okay? Okay, now let me extend it, okay. I'll keep that in mind. Okay. So I can tell buyers are trying to get aggressive here. Okay, there it is. Let's see if we can get filled.
Order partially filled.
Okay, we're filled on this
Order
one.
filled.
Now let's see if the buyers can aggress, because these sellers will take control once again if we're what's it called? If we breach this level, and we know we'll go down to our value
Order
area level.
partially filled.
Okay, we're stop. Look how aggressive they get,
filled.
the sellers. So now our next opportunity is here. If we see seller absorption here, let me just pull our trigger. This was our A plus zone. Okay. Let's see if we can take control of this level here, because it will be very aggressive once again. And then we take it up to the high.
Order partially filled.
Okay.
Order filled.
My risk-free zone will be up here. Okay, buyers are stepping in. Okay, I'm forced to go risk-free just based on the aggression of this candle. Because if sellers take control here again, we're gonna get screwed, right? This is a seller reload level. Let me just put it in for some spread. Let's see if buyers can continue to aggress. That's best case scenario, is that sellers come in, we get absorbed, and price rockets up very quickly, just based on the fact that the aggressive buyers are in control at this point, at the massive aggressive buyer 152. So if we breach 77, I'm going to put my stop in profit. Let's see if the buyers have some steam. It's their last chance. If price breaches this low, the 77 seller, it's gonna hit our stop loss. I'm 90% sure. So this is a last chance for buyers. Okay, I'm gonna put our stop in profit. Not much. Give it a buffer because I want to let this trade ride. Put it up for 1 hour. The sellers are really trying to take control of this level. Fuck it. I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it at break even because I can really see how buyers can aggress this level. We want to see a nice squeeze up to the 77 buyer, then I will really move my stop in profit. But for now, I don't want to. The reason is because I can tell buyers are getting aggressive. We have this massive gap. So if buyers use this as an accumulation to really enter a massive amount of orders, then I know we're going to squeeze hard and heavy. Let's see. We have a candle close in 15 seconds. I'm not liking this rejection. Final chance for the buyers. It's now or never for them. Look at this candle, it's about to close. It closed green, but it closed neutral. Okay, I'm gonna put my stop under here now. Secure something, you know what I mean? Secure something. Take something out of this trade. Last chance. Once again, the reason I'm saying last chance again is because it's the same point of price and it's the same interaction in the auction. I want to give it some room because I see how this can wick down to the 73. I'll put it at the session high. At the session high. That's decent. And we can squeeze up to the high over here. Last chance here. I'm not liking this interaction.
Order partially
I'm
filled.
not liking this interaction. Sellers took control
Order
once
filled.
again. I could really anticipate
Order
a squeeze.
cancelled.
I don't like it, but sellers are really trying to take control of this level, and that's why I wanted to give it some wiggle room, but you know, it's unfortunate. Okay, so we reacted from this buyer again, and that's why I didn't want to put my stop in profit, because I recognize how we could come down, but we just slipped a little bit too much. And now we have a chance to squeeze, really squeeze. We reacted at the session high again. massive control of sellers of this level. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark this down as a local zone of acceleration right here, especially at these wicks. Let's property, let's make this red, and we can possibly re-engage. Okay, something like this.
Order
I'm willing
partially
to risk
filled.
this once more because this can get
Order filled.
very aggressive. But if we come down, I know we're wrong. We're wrong. Where will I go risk free? Same idea, the 77 buyer. But if this rejects again, I know sellers are in control. Let me move this a bit down, actually, right here. Let's see if we can get a nice squeeze. Because I'm willing to test this idea like 2 or 3 times now. Let's see, take profit. Let's put it at the highs. Okay. Some initiative, but there's a lot of absorption. A lot of passive liquidity in this case. We want to see an explosion at this point. Because that's why I entered this trade. Because I can anticipate explosion at this point of price. Okay, I'm going to go risk-free. Because if we reject here, we're going to come back down heavily. Like, really heavily. I'm talking back to the bottom of the range. Okay, seller got absorbed. I have to protect something. Actually, I'm just going to protect the spread at this point. Same kind of idea. Because I'm recognizing how we can squeeze. Aggressive buyer comes in but gets absorbed. Right? So if the buyers can come in and step in again, you're going to see the biggest squeeze you've seen in the session. And this is how I trade squeezes. But let's hope we don't have the same trade unfold where we hit our stop. Okay, look, sellers come in. What happens? Are they showing result? No, they're not showing result. Buyers are trying to aggress this level. So if the buyers can push price up here, you're going to see a candle like this big. That's what we want. But we can't. We have a good stop loss now. It's in profit slightly. But if buyers can take control of the seller, you're really going to see that squeeze materialize. So let's see if that can happen right now, at this second, at this current point of price. Okay, that's what we want to see. We want to see that squeeze kind of to the median of the range. Let us change this extended trading hours session. Come on, buyers, take control, take control, take control. Sellers aggressing once again.
Order partially filled.
Order filled in this case. Okay, so,
Order filled.
so if we reject this point and sellers reload, we're going to go down for sure. But it was a good attempt. It was a really good attempt. I'm not going to lie. Unfortunate that, what's it called?
Order cancelled.
Because our stop would have been in profit on this trade, on the acceptance of price from these buyers. Right? Because now all we have is this 93 buyer over here, but still. And this is the type of auction we want to avoid. Look, you see how you're seeing these amazing setups, but prices, it's volatile, but it's 80% compressed. Okay. Now buyers are in control of our acceleration zone, so that's a good point to keep into consideration. I still see how we can squeeze hard. But do I want to test the same idea again, anticipating that we can compress? The only thing putting me on to take this trade is the fact that we can really squeeze hard. 5 minute, especially this 5 minute candle closure, is really massive. Yeah, it's very balanced. It's very balanced in this case. Because I see how we can squeeze like 250, 300 points. Possibly something like this. Try it once again.
Order partially filled.
We want that squeeze.
Order filled.
Stop loss is at this seller. I really like the setup. That's the issue. Is I really like it because I can tell how we can squeeze. Where did we say to the median, which was I think the session over here. Yeah, yeah. And our means of managing risk is pretty simple. Is when we test the highs where look at the absorption here, the massive wicks. I can really see like this is nothing compared to what I'm expecting. I'm talking like 4 times this. But I can tell there's massive sellers, but if they capitulate, we're gonna be good. My stop loss is in these sellers, just in case they aggress once again. Put it a bit lower in this case, like here. Yeah. I'm liking this absorption here. Where's my take profit? Oh, it's a bit higher. Right here. We said the session, the median of the session right here. I'm not liking this accumulation. I wish we could accumulate a little bit higher because it shows buyers are really in control. Otherwise, I have to lower my risk if we don't hit stop loss now, which is a very high probability. Oh my God. Pew! Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Order partially filled.
I thought this guy could save us, man.
Order filled.
Okay. Complete compression from this.
Order
case.
cancelled.
And I'm not worried about being down like 4 or 5R because I'm aware of the environment and how we can really squeeze, man. Like I'm talking a proper solid squeeze. And I'm going to be there for it. But it's just compressed for now. It's really compressed. Like from this point here, these 80, 70, I really expected us to not even just stop, just completely move. It showed complete domination from the buyers. Okay. Yeah, this is unfortunate. But it's not done, it's not done. Let us, let me delete this. Let us localize it a little bit. Yeah. I see how sellers can take control because we were aware that there's a lot of passive liquidity here, just especially with this chop over here. Maybe these guys, maybe the sellers controlling this level show up once again over here. Because sellers are aware, if we start breaching this high over here, you're gonna start squeezing up, and I'm talking like 250, 300 points, and that's what we want to capitalize on. So look at this buyer comes in, squeeze down. So maybe, let me just look at the orders again. We had this, we got stopped out on, right? This, we were up around, I think, 2.5R. Here we were up like 2R. Maybe we have to be more conservative with the take profits until we show a sign of acceptance of price from the buyers. I think that's the best case scenario for us now. Because if this price action continues, I'm only interested in shorts then. Because I can see literally the sellers trying to dominate the auction. That's why I'm keeping my risk at 500, not 1,000, not 1,500, because we're at this type of auction. No, so aggressive seller comes in. I think he'll get rewarded. We'll see. I was hoping to see this type of price action, but closer to the high. That's what I've noticed gives you those massive squeezes, is when you're accumulating next to a high after a range, 30-minute range break. It gives buyers a chance to accumulate their orders, and we've said this before. Okay, another seller comes in, gets absorbed. Now, do I want to enter the same idea again? Nah, not really, not really, not really. because I expected a massive explosion, but we're not getting that. This price action's whack. See, we have a 5-minute candle closure in a couple of seconds. Let's see how the hourly closed on the actual NASDAQ, not the futures chart. Wow, very neutral candle. Let me see the 30-minute. Yeah, that's more promising. Like I said, the more this price action continues, the more I'm interested in shorts, because I know the sellers are just going to dominate and just take control of the auction and very quickly flip the script. So speaking of that, let us actually attempt a sell. If we can see some. Okay, this buyer came in. Is he going to show result? That's our acceleration zone, so it'll be something like this.
Order partially filled.
Okay, if he shows result, then I
Order
know it's
filled.
squeezing higher. I'm going to protect myself at these sellers here. Because this buyer shows result, boom, back into the range, accumulate, and then possibly explode higher. But I want to see if we can take this down to our previous acceleration zone. Acceleration, let's see if sellers can take control. I'm anticipating they will take control because they initially took control of this buyer over here. Let's see if we can get some nice oomph. Possibly. Let me actually take our profile. Yeah, possibly to this node over here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, now if this seller gets absorbed, we're gonna hit stop loss, so I'm just gonna go risk free. Like, notice how this seller comes in, Notice how this seller comes in and price moves up, so I can tell there's a passive buyer trying to take control of the auction. So unless a seller gets way more aggressive, right, like this, and we continue to see that, then price should start to collapse down. But for now, I have my stop loss at break even just in case these sellers get absorbed, because if they do, and then this
Order
buyer
partially
like,
filled.
could happen, and
Order
this
filled.
buyer can get an opportunity to re-engage. Now these sellers are trapped. So it was a nice attempt.
Order cancelled.
Right, but not too interesting. We needed some more aggression. Like, there's still this massive buyer protecting the value area high. So if we were able to breach that range, then cool, I'm interested. But now that we're going back up, the sells are off the table. Look, the sellers reload at this point, right? Sellers reload at our acceleration zone, where the buyer initially failed. Let's see if they have a result. Because the final countdown for the sellers. If they don't take control of this auction, then it's cooked for them. But honestly, I think they can. So we can do something like this. If we can get filled. See, this is the problem with days like this, is that all the trades we took worked. Most, not all. I'm talking like 80% of them worked. But we get stopped out, and then the price runs where we want it to go. What's the issue with this? Is that you are in a range. This is what happens when you're in a range. So you know your execution is right. You know your ideas are right. You know your reading of the auction is right. But you just can't do anything about it except just stay back and just, hey, anticipate, hey, we might be in a possible range, so I'm not going to take trades. But in my risk parameter, I'm okay with taking trades like this. But once it gets too much and it moves past a certain threshold, I start saying, okay, wait, I'm not going to take any trades anymore. And if this continues for another hour and a half, I'm just going to call it a day, right? And next week we'll come back and we'll kick ass once we have more directional volatility. Because right now it's compressed volatility. It's volatile, but it's compressed. Okay. So what I'm asking myself now is, how are we reacting to these absorbed sellers at the value area high of the range? Let's see what happens. Look, we're bouncing off the value area high. It's actually pretty interesting. It's a good point to take some risk if we can do something like this. If we don't collapse, they're the absorbed sellers, sorry, but now they're showing some sort of result. Yeah, so I can't take that anymore. Unfortunate. Okay, this was our final acceleration zone. Okay, super unfortunate. Won't you buy freedom? Yeah. Yeah. How do you change this? Make it dash dot all the time, bro. What is this? Why do you put a volume profile that covers the candle? I can't see the wick. Like, come on, guys. What is this? Khalas, save. Yes. New. Save. Okay, cool. I want to see how we interact with this delta here. Okay. Initially bounced off of it. Okay. If this guy, okay, buyer's coming in after the seller absorption, I'm gonna take this one and stop loss under the seller.
Order cancelled.
Actually, I'll take it more aggressively, I'm not gonna lie. Nice like this.
Order partially filled.
I like how we bounce off this delta.
Order
I like how
filled.
the seller got absorbed. If we bounce, we bounce. If we hit stop loss, we're wrong very close. So I have no problem with that. And I'm going to take my take profit to the value area high. My means of protection is going to be at the 64 seller. If sellers take control, great. We know sellers are dominating. We can only look for sells from this point. But I like this trade. I like how the seller got absorbed. I like how, what's it called? Let's say just in case we squeeze really high. I like how this buyer is showing result. I'm going to put my stop loss at break even once we start testing this cluster of volume. Nothing yet, nothing yet, nothing yet. Okay, now stop loss is break even. I cannot lose on this trade, but let's see if we can win on this trade. Because the point isn't just to not lose, the point is to win, and I'm here to win. So let's see if it's going to be the same thing we've seen the whole day, where we get hit break even and price rallies in our favor, or we actually start to squeeze and the buyers take control once again. But if not, then not. The smart thing to do is to take profit and leave and move on to the next trade, but I'm not smart. I'm crazy. It's Friday and we're trying to make some money, and I want to show you guys. Okay, look at this buyer get absorbed. If they can reaccumulate their orders here, then absolutely great. But look at this absorption. We're getting screwed right now. 85% chance we hit stop loss. Unless some guy comes in and just pushes that shit up right now, man. Right now. It's now or never. Or we hit stop loss. Remember what I said. The smart thing to do is to take your money out. But no. I can really anticipate a squeeze right now. So come on. We're at the cluster of buyers here. If we breach this 110, I'll trail my stop. I'll make a deal with you guys, okay? But only if we breach this 110, I'll trail my stop. Damn, I actually have to trail it now. Fuck, man. I'll secure 1,000. Come on, just push it. Get it done with, man. Come on, get it done with. I want to finish working. Finish. Come on, get aggressive. This is where it can happen. Right here. Yes, just move. One more time. Just push up. If they touch this box here, we're going to fly. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. I'm not 90. I'm 100% sure. If we touch this box, we're going to fly. I'm talking like move up, not he. I'm talking move, man. Come on. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Secure the profit. Yes, baby. Let's go. Okay. One more chance. Don't take me out on profit. Squeeze. Yalla, squeeze. Yalla. Don't fuck with. Okay, whatever, guys. I'm sorry.
Order filled.
I'm sorry. I got just a little bit
Order
excited.
cancelled.
The thing is, you know what hurts my heart? Is that I know this is probably gonna go up. But I have to be smart and say this is our previous acceleration zone. This is the catalyst of the buyer that got absorbed. Let's go back to being from content to actual education. You see this buyer, 91? He came in and he got wrecked, right? So this is where I know passive sellers took control of the market. If we came back up over here, right? And price rejects again, I know this is the first zone of acceleration for sellers to start dominating the market. So if sellers take control of this zone, I know we can come back down and test. And I don't want to give all that profit back to the market, especially with the fact that I need to be very conservative. We were down like what? 2,600? And we recovered all the loss from that one trade. And that's why I told you guys I'm not worried about being down 4R. Is because I know the environment we're in, right? I know the type of environment we're in. I understand we're at a 1.4% gap down. I really understand that if buyers do take control after some sort of compression, it gives them a chance to accumulate their orders and then really squeeze up. But me not trailing my stop loss here, I said it wasn't smart, but the only reason I said that is because we were down 4R for the day. But recognizing that this is the first level of seller absorption we've had in a long time, with a deep retracement into our acceleration zone where these sellers took control, right? Because if these sellers take control again, then the price is really going to move down. So I really want to give it opportunity to breathe, because it would have sucked for me to get stopped out for 500 in profit, and then price completely rallies and squeezes up, right? But we just had to. There's no other option. But it's really important to protect your mental, let's say, capacity, and in environments like this, because although I understand how we can squeeze, I'm also understanding that we're in an environment where we can compress once again. Like sellers took control here of these absorbed buyers. Who says they can't do it again, right? So yeah, nothing I can do now. Nothing I can do now except watch. And if we get another setup like this, then I'll take it, right? If we get the same setup on the other side of the auction, which is the sell side, I'll also take it, right, guys? Yeah, it was a nice trade. Like, let's go over it again. So look, seller comes in off of our acceleration zone where the sellers accepted price and moved price down. Sellers came in, moved price down. But then the buyers, the biggest buyer we saw since this whole thing, we haven't seen 67, 80, 165, 84. We haven't seen one aggressive buyer come in that was this size, of this caliber. And that buyer, you ask yourself one of two questions. Did they get rewarded? Yes or no? Yes, they got rewarded. And price rallied up. So which level of price were they protecting? They were protecting this exact price. And it just happens to be the price where one of the largest sellers showed up. Okay? So price comes down, sellers get aggressive initially, try to push price down, and breach this level. But then initially, as soon as you see the red bubble, the purple bubble come in, which means an aggressive seller, price does what? Ticks up. So there's a buyer with a limit order right there saying, no, I'm protecting this castle. This is my level of price. And then an aggressive buyer comes in and now really starts to push price in. So as soon as I saw that seller get absorbed, that's where I put my buy stop above the... I'm not sure if the buyer came in when I put my buy stop, but I knew I would put my buy stop above the seller just in case price rallies up, and my stop loss under the seller. The stop loss there is just because if that seller takes control of the auction again, I know where we're going and I know where we are wrong, right? We wanted to trail our stop loss. We saw this massive 110 buyer come in. We know what they're capable of. Initially got absorbed, got a chance to reload at the 64 seller at our previous acceleration zone, right? 152, where this buyer came in, and got rewarded. And now look where price rejected. Imagine giving all this money back to the market. It's unacceptable from my standpoint, right? So, in this trade, great execution, great analysis, right? Now, on this trade, I have to go through it again because I'm disappointed in this one. This sell, I don't mind taking a loss in. That was the first trade of the day. But this buy, in my head, it should have been a win. It should have been a win. Maybe I should have been more conservative with my stop loss. Maybe put like the order here and the stop loss under the sellers. But I didn't do that. Maybe I could have re-engaged once I saw this seller get absorbed, but maybe it wasn't as the size I wanted to see. But I'll have to go back and say. But all I can say is for now, the trade we took here, great analysis, great execution, and all I can do is move forward, right? So, but I'm still bearish on the day now. The fact that these buyers really couldn't push price up, it's just telling me that sellers are really in control right now. So I'm just going to wait for any sell signals I see. Or we leave this range, we leave this level of compression. Boom, next trade. Yeah, guys, give me a second. Guys, this auction sucks. At least we're reading it well. This auction sucks. I'm really gonna think about these trades. I'm fine with this sell one. This buy was sloppy execution. I'm not gonna lie. Look at the size of these wicks. One attempt, two attempt. If we attempted a breach of this, we would have been stopped out, but stopped out in break even. Possible re-engage, but I feel like that's too machine gun. For next time, actually, I'm slightly disappointed in this. I'm more disappointed in this one, right? But this one, these trades here, is what I was trying to replicate what we did over here. But the only difference is we didn't have this massive aggressive buyer come in. Okay, guys, let's look in. Forget the past. Khalas, move on. Okay, seller's taking control. Let's see a flush down, but I need a nice entry. I'm not seeing any entries. Let me check our 1 hour closure on the futures. Let me check our 30-minute closure, our 15-minute closure. This is gonna collapse. I need to capitalize off of this. We need a nice entry. This is gonna collapse. This is gonna collapse hard. Why am I saying this? Because look how these buyers really attempted and they rejected our acceleration zone. And now if sellers get aggressive here once again, I'm telling you, you're gonna see a candle this big. Chitty. But the sellers need to aggress this level. It's not on me. Like these guys are trading 300 contracts of NQ. I'm trading like 3, 4. I can't move the price of the NASDAQ. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. Apologize. I'm not gonna attempt this trade again we just took. No way, because I'm anticipating a dump down. Okay, if sellers don't capitulate price in 5 minutes, either buyers will take control again at this price, like at this minute, like right here, buyers take control here, then I don't think sellers will have a shot at the next 5 minutes. But if sellers can break this place we took the trade from in the next 5 minutes, collapse. But I don't have any information to capitalize off of it. Nothing. But the trade we just took, how much was it? Like 2,000, 2,700, 2,800? If we can do that 3 times today, and I think we can, it will be like $8,000, and I think we can get that done, man. I really think we can get that done. Okay? It'll be a flush down end of day. It should be a long day for you. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. I completely agree with you. I think they're just compressing. The same thing we said about how buyers... I like price consolidating and accumulating to give buyers a chance to accumulate orders and then have the buy side of the order book remove their liquidity, remove their passive orders, and give price a chance to flush. I think we're seeing the same thing with the sell side. Just based on the proof that look how high the delta came. Look at this massive divergence of delta initially from the session open, and the result was nothing, right? It's like you filmed all these videos hyping up a fight, and then you show up to the fight and the guy slaps you once and you get knocked down. Now the confidence of your fans in you is much lower. It's the exact same thing we're seeing in relative to price. So I think we're going to get some aggressive sellers here and they're going to get rewarded. But in terms of my means of risk management and my strategy, I don't have any entries so far, but we will have potential entries in the next 5 minutes possibly. Let me just check. Possibly, yeah, the next 5 to 7 minutes we have a possible entry. So now we wait and see. I would actually pay money to watch you. Come on, pay me money then. Ah, man, that's funny. Yeah, hopefully. So my goal with this, I'm just gonna be very transparent about it, is I want to live stream for 3 months. Put it as a track record that I can do this, that I am doing this, that this is what I do on the daily, this is what I do all the time, this is what I do when I'm alone. The same way I react online is the same way I react alone. I keep it very professional. The same way I was screaming squeeze, I don't do that, but I recognize that that's important for people to have a sense of entertainment and fun watching what I do. Because at the end of the day, this is not financial advice. This is me trading my own capital. I don't recommend anybody to take these trades, especially with the delay that is on. I do not stream 5 days a week. I stream at minimum 3 days a week. So there's 2 days of the week where I could make most of my profit, and 3 days where I don't. So I want to build a kind of a track record, have them all up. That was the goal of me streaming on Kick, but I realized they were removing my VODs, which really hurt me. And I noticed my YouTube live streams from the last 3 years, from 3 years ago, were still up. So I'm just going to use that to leverage the fact that I can keep them up here and build a track record on YouTube. Damn, look at that. Oh, damn. Okay. Thank you guys. I really thank you. It's awesome, man. I love to hear it, man. I love what I do. I love analyzing the auction, reading. This is 26 soon. I've been reading this stuff since I was like 16, 15 years old. And only in the past 3-4 years did I really prove to myself that I understand what I'm doing. It's a tough game. Wow! Look at this minute closer. Let's see, when do our 5-minute just closed to? Look at this 5-minute closure too. Ah, shit. This was a nice trade actually, but I didn't see any interaction. But like I said, if the sellers don't take control in the next 5 minutes, buyers are just gonna take control of it completely. They don't flush this area down and get aggressive, which they didn't get aggressive. You don't see any orders try to push price down. Then the passive liquidity at the same point where this massive delta is gonna take control. Let us drag our profiles, see if anything changes. Yes, our value area high changed, so if we can, let me delete this. I said, let me delete this. Yes, sir. Okay. Let us take this cluster of orders with our value area high. Now we know, let us delete this also. Let us readjust this, localize it. I like that term. With the yellow line, which is the VWAP. If we breach here, sellers are cooked. I'm telling you, sellers are cooked. But if you take a look at the 10-minute chart here, what is this? Like, really, just look at this compression. Look at this. At the end of the day, as much as we're analyzing the auction, we're not really doing anything, right? So yeah. Because we're looking at the range chart and the 1-minute chart, so it looks like it's doing something, but in reality it's not. But yeah, guys, nothing much. Okay, let's see if we can get some reaction from this zone. But I think sellers can dominate this zone here. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a flush down from this zone at minimum to the buyer and seller here. You're gonna see like a green bubble pop up at this point, and price is just gonna completely reject it and absorb it. That's my expectation off of watching this stuff for hours. It's usually what I see at these sensitive areas at days of compression. Look at this 1-minute candle closure. It closed not deep red, but it closed red. If you have two clusters of candles after a massive move up, you tend to rebalance further. All we can do is wait and see. At least we're not in a position, you know. I have 3 likes. Yeah, I'm liking my own video. I have 4 likes now. Yeah, get out of here. What are you talking about? 3 likes. I'm the 4th like. I like it. What do you want? It's like kissing myself in the mirror. Okay. What I'm interested in next is to see this 5-minute closure. This. If we can close neutral, I don't think we will, but if we can, it sets us up for a squeeze. I'm sorry guys, but the days I stream the auction sucks. It just sucks. This is lame. This is very lame. We had some fun, we took some nice trades, but this is lame. Nothing I can do. I wish I could control it, but I can't. I wouldn't be streaming if I could. Now, come on, let's see those green bubbles and let them get absorbed right here. Right here. Come on, buyers come in, get absorbed, push the price down aggressively. No interaction still. Let me check if they sent the cash money. They didn't send it. Okay, we have a zone of pressure right here. Now this is where you get volatility. And my analysis says it's gonna be to the downside. Something like this. Let me actually draw a rectangle.
Market
Connection
data
lost.
Market data connection re-established. When?
Market
Connected.
data connection re-established.
Market data connection re-established. Is my personal guy. I have him sitting in the UK, and his only job is to hold the microphone, check my screen, and if it disconnects, quickly turns on the market data connection lost. Yeah, he's an old guy, but he's good at his job. I'm not gonna lie, man. You know, he has 2 buttons. He has the connect and the reconnect button. If he doesn't, Asuga, King Charles, TV. But it's okay. He's doing a good job. He's doing a really good job. Guys, honestly, 45 more minutes and I'm done. Because I'm not gonna watch paint dry off of a wall. This is lame. This is really lame. Let's see, we said we wanted to see that 5-minute candle. Look at this ping pong of volume. Okay, sellers control, okay, no. Buyers control, okay, no, sellers control. Okay, buyers control, and the next one, sellers control. So you scan this and you get like some food at the supermarket. This is the trading. This is the volume. The traders of the peoples of the DeepCharts. DeepChart is a great platform. Well, guys, يعني, I don't know. But later it will be better. I mean, yeah, possibly. I just need it to happen, right? Let me check. Let me check Financial Juice. Let me check Forex Factory. There is no news. There's no news. Okay. Let me actually check our fear and greed index. I haven't checked that in a while. I think we're gonna be at greed, if not neutral. We're at greed. Well, I was right. Not extreme greed, but we're at greed. 65. Okay. Financial Juice. A sell-off in global bonds halted a stock rally as concerns that central banks would be forced to tighten policy to keep inflation under control amid persistently high oil prices. Oh, so now that's a problem, huh? Not that you saw the oil prices were high for the last month and a half. Now, bro, this makes no sense to me, man. It's like they just want to give any bullshit reason for the market to drop, bro. Oh, the market dropped. Okay, let's see. What's the reason today? Bro, come on. The oil prices have been high since the market was rallying. You're not going to say that? Whatever, it's fine. U.S. Energy Secretary Wright, the U.S. will replenish every barrel of oil it releases from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Ah, that sounds very doubtful. U.S. Energy Secretary Wright, the U.S. could easily double natural gas export with no impact on domestic prices. Ya salam. Trump to Fox, Taiwan should feel neutral after my Xi meeting. Yeah, sure, buddy. Sure, man. We agreed to promote the expansion of two-way trade under the framework of reciprocal tariff reductions. Cooked market. Yeah, it's like, it's not that it's a cooked market. I just want to say that when markets move up and down, I notice that they always try to find reasons. Why did it go up? Why did it go down? And the reason they gave now is because a tightened policy to keep inflation under control amid persistently high oil prices. You guys weren't saying that when the inflation came out 1.5% PPI and the market went up. Or the CPI came out higher and the market went up. Where was this talk, right? But you have to give a reason now. They can't say, I don't know. That's why I hate analysts. I just hate analysts, man. You put 100 analysts together, I guarantee you 90% of them cannot profit off the market. That's why they just dump their money into the S&P and they tell people what they think is going to happen. That makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. And I'm saying this as a young person, right? If I was 40, 50, maybe I'd have a different opinion. But my opinion right now, from where I am in life, from my understanding of the markets, is that how can you say what's going to happen to a stock or the market and your whole confidence of putting your money is putting it in the S&P or the Dow? That makes no sense to me. You're not even following your own calls, but you're getting paid a salary to give analysis to from the bank or wherever you're giving it from. Okay, come on. Nice 5-minute closure, I'm not gonna lie, but like we said, ping pong, we need to break this ping pong. I said we might see a trade in the next 5 to 7 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes ago, but I didn't see that trade.
Market
Connection
data
lost.
connection lost.
Charles! Yalla, click the button. Charles. Market data connection reestablished.
Market data connection re-established.
Hey, Habibi, Charles. Thank you. Market data connection reestablished. This is so stupid. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point, man. I swear to God. Oh, man. Because I promise you guys, I say this when I'm alone, too. Every time it disconnects or reconnects. So, market data connection reestablished. I love it. I'll give it 40 minutes. If nothing changes, then we're calling it a day. Yes, good girl. You're tired. Yes, you look tired. You look very tired. It's okay. Sleep.
Disconnected.
Ah.
Connected.
Okay, that's the other. That's Samantha. Her job is to connect this platform. I have them both in separate.
Connection lost.
يا أخي. Charles. Let me check. Data. Market data. US future. Yeah, Charles. Hey, his wife. She's much younger than him. بس يعني man, come on. Samantha, Charles. خلصوني. لا. Charles doesn't get fired. He's a bit slow, but يعني he does his job sometimes really well. Well, okay, it should connect now. Market connection. Reestablished. The worst part is when this happens when you're in a trade. Nothing pisses me off more. It makes you just want to break everything in front of me. And you removed your stop loss.
Disconnected.
Connected. Yalla, Samantha.
Connected.
Hey, we're back online. Preparing for takeoff. Then, okay.
Connection lost.
Guys, now I'm not even laughing. Like, this is not funny anymore. Like, now this is starting to get stressful.
Connected.
Lala, what is this? I want to open the settings, but I'm afraid I revealed some like API stuff, and I can't do that. I don't want to wake up to my account being liquidated by some guy who entered everything, entered orders, exited orders, and gave all the commission to interactive brokers. Okay. Let me check out charts from here. Nothing. Sir, this one is connecting. We have to make sure that interactive brokers is always connected. But Madam Sir, the connection is very very strong. Sal. La habibi, la. I would, but look, are you seeing any interaction like this? I swear to God I would have sold here. I swear I would have. But we don't have any interaction like this. Buyers being absorbed, sellers taking control in the body of the candle, like not really, but like here, you know? I'm not seeing any interaction. What does no interaction mean? It means that if price comes down, any aggressive buyer or an absorbed seller taken in by a passive buyer can just move price back up and we're stuck in chop, right? Then I'm just gonna face unnecessary stop loss. Back when the price was lower in the open, we knew and we expected it might chop because of the, like for example, show historical orders. We knew the price might continue to chop because of the move down in the session, but now we know, like, we move up and then we know we are in a potential compression zone. I don't I don't want to enter a trade unless the market proves to me that we have left the compression. You know? I know. I see it too, but there's no interaction at all. If there was interaction, I'll be back. No way, man. Thank you. I was doing the whole impression. What's up, Fanor? What I was saying is, thank you, brother. What I was saying is that Kick, I moved to YouTube because Kick wasn't saving my VODs, and I don't want some person saying, hey, you're deleting your VODs. My biggest loss day got removed, the day I won got removed, and it just deletes every 7 days. I asked somebody I know who's more informed than this. So yeah. Yeah, I just realized, man, that's so sad, I'm not gonna lie. I was doing like a whole scene. But yeah, you didn't miss anything, Fanol. We took a few trades. We're in compression. We were down like 2,700. We recovered the loss. I hate saying made it back. It just sounds wrong. We recovered the loss from a nice trade over here. But the only thing that will bring price down is if we get some interaction. But for now, we're following the pattern. Compression, move up, compression. And the pattern is move up from now on, you know. Especially if I turn this on extended trading hours session, massive gap. And this is what we said we wanted to see. We wanted to see accumulation a little bit higher than the open. It gives buyers a chance to accumulate orders. So it's a good thing that we're not seeing any interaction of sellers, but also we're not seeing interaction of buyers, but it just means that these buyers are taking control and the sellers that came in over here are completely absorbed, especially these over here. Oh man. But yeah, I'm more interested in the buy side from here, but I just need proof that we are escaping this level of compression. But one problem I can see with this, excuse me, is the move up will be very quick. And then what are we going to do after that? Compress again. And then we get stop. So we have to be really sure. If not, catch it earlier. Only thing that will move price down is Iran saying something. Eki Mr. Tehran, we will send a Tari Shahid Deron to your house, the white one. Eki. After that, we will send a 12 a ballistic missile. Okay, look, now the buyer comes in. What happens? Absorbed or result? Absorbed. Last chance to reload. Delta is low. I'm expecting this buyer to show result. I'm expecting like a seller comes in, absorbed. New information. Battle. Big battle here. Battle. There is a big battle between buyers and sellers. Absolutely glorious fight. Okay. Buyers showing some sort of result. Sellers are absorbed. I think we're going to squeeze. How can we capitalize off of this without getting chopped out? Let us localize our profile of this distribution right here. And let's check our value area high. We have these massive sellers trapped over here. We have our value area high over here. Let's just mark that down pretty quickly. I'm not seeing any sort of entries. The only entry I see is this. A buy stop above here, stop loss under the seller. But the market proved to me that we're in an area of compression. I don't want to be part of that compression. I want to see us interact and have a seller absorbed in this case, in this point of price. Okay? Let's see how we interact with our value area high. Now sellers are dominating the level, but I'm seeing some nice wicks, some nice absorption. Passive buyers trying to keep the price higher. I'm seeing the delta climb down, although the price broke up from this high, so we had minus 950 contracts previously at this level, and now we have 1.5 thousand, so almost double. But now I'm looking for how price responds at this node of sellers, this cluster of sellers, if we can get there. But I'm not seeing anything. Nothing. Okay, we just tapped into it. Absorption. If we saw like a buyer come in and show result or a seller get absorbed, I would have entered there, but no interaction within this auction. test the node, goes higher. We test the value area high again, it breaks through it. I can take something like this, but I just still don't like it. I still don't like it. I really don't. Let me get some water. Stay down, down, down. Well, like it's actually so delayed, man. I walked, I came back, and I'm still sitting down. I'm gonna figure this out for next time. Take my vitamins, because I'm a day trader and I'm inside a lot. So I take some vitamin K2, K1, vitamin D, the essentials, some zinc, because what are you zinking about? Zinking about the market. This is a stock trading. This is a finance bibbles. Take some vitamin E. Okay, look at the seller get absorbed instantly. Wow. I want to take this, but I can't. I really can't. We have an 85% chance of squeezing here. But the fact that we've been compressed for so long, like what tells me we're not just gonna come back down to the range? But 85% chance of squeezing here. Wouldn't have been risk-free yet. Yeah, I don't like that wick. What does this mean? What is this wick? Look at that closure. I don't think we've had any candle like this the whole day. Nah, we haven't. Nothing like that. Massive passive sellers, I can tell. Massive. Look at this, now it's refilling it. Because look at the delta of this candle. Closed massive, but the candle closed neutral. So buyers are trying to aggressive, but there's huge passive sellers trying to take control of the auction. Okay.
Boy, mate, remember to take your vitamins. You gotta stay healthy. If you're inside most of the time, you gotta make sure that you're staying strong and healthy. Listen here, little Johnny, you gotta make sure to drink your milk. You gotta make sure that you're drinking your vitamins.
Guys, sorry, but it's 20 more minutes, I'm out. This is boring. I'd rather go do something else, I'm not gonna lie. Not that it's boring, it's not supposed to be fun, but I can't do anything. There's nothing I can do. Like, this is a great buy setup, but look how it now starts accumulating here, and that's the only reason I didn't want to enter any trades. Is because I can anticipate the accumulation, but as somebody in the chat said, the move can happen way later, which I agree, it can, and that's what usually happens in days like this. Compress, 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 everybody steps away, cheaper to move price up and down. So they enter their orders later in the day. Dude, what are you doing? Come here. Down, 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 down. What do you think this is? Down, down. You don't see I'm working. You don't see I'm businessing. Okay, there's some aggression. Let me make this delta more easier to watch. Let's delete some zones, declutter our chart. We don't need this many. Yeah, that's enough. Okay. Look how the volume's dying down. Here also you can see the volume's dying down. Look at this 5-minute candle closure. So what do we see from this candle right here? Neutral red candle, but the delta was positive. So sellers are trying to take control of this level, but not that much interaction. Only 3 points of aggressive interaction from my chart. And in this chart, we have 1 point of buyer absorption, which means the sellers are going to take control of this market and you should see a move down. But is it a market I want to take risk at? No. Why? Because we're in an area of compression and we can just do something like this, quickly spike down and then move up. And then what happens? We enter a trade, it hits break even, or we hit stop loss, and that's the higher probability. Come down, swish up, whatever I just said. And now what do you do? What do you do? But all we know is this information now. We mark down this level for a large cluster of volume, the highest node of delta in this range, which is controlled by sellers. Price wicks down, buyers try to take control. Aggressive buyers or passive buyers? Passive buyers. Wick into VWAP, possible institutional accumulation area. There's a bunch of big words for you people. And we can test this zone again. So I'm not interested in taking anything unless we are proven otherwise. No way we have 7 people watching. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate everyone. That's pretty cool. I'll figure out next time how to make the stream like a 3-second, 2-second, if not any delay at all, because I'm not liking how there is a delay. I want to interact as soon as I see a message, or I want whoever's like watching their own chart, I want them to relate it to mine if it's much more shorter term. The only reason it's an advantage is because I don't want people taking the same trades as I am, you know? But I'm not worried about that because I'm telling you guys not to. If we see an aggressive seller get absorbed, I'm going to take a buy, possibly. But I'm not that keen to take it. Okay, we have a zone of pressure here, which means compression after a violent move, which usually leads to an even bigger move. I could take my
Connection lost.
Come on, just connect it back. Yalla, Charles, Samantha. Well, man, this is actually frustrating. Yeah, it's from interactive brokers. It's not even from DeepCharts. But usually, some days it never happens. Some days it happens often. This is like a 70% day where it's happening more of the time, but not as often. Once I entered a position, and before I could set my stop loss, it disconnected. So I had to open the broker from another computer and close the trade, and it lost automatically. It was so bad. Like, what if I wanted to short here and I can't? Because Charles is doing some... Yahi, come on, guys. Connect. Well, this is not good.
Disconnected.
This is really not good.
Connected.
Okay, we're back online. Then. Okay. Okay, next.
Connection lost.
أحسن لي أسكت والله.
Connected.
والله دق على راجو الحين حطه يمي. راجو, fix the connection. Okay, so we interacted with value area low. sellers are really aggressing it, but once again, there's literally no interaction. Except this. But I wasn't confident to trade that because, like we said, we're in an area of possible compression. We're approaching our previous acceleration zone where we took the buy from. But if we are in an area of compression, you know what this looks like? It looks like a great buy, but I need more information. 5-minute candle closed. It's ping-ponging with volume. So then, according to the pattern, the next one should be higher, but I am not interested. I think sellers have a higher chance, higher probability of taking control right now. Look how this candle's green, but the delta's red. So there are some passive buyers trying to take control of this auction, especially as it's at the value area low. I'm liking that. And this line we marked down was a session high. Sorry, the range high of the open of the cash session. So candle closes now. Candle's neutral or green, but delta is red. So we can anticipate some sort of squeeze, but once again, we have no interaction. Because that tells me that the buyers are going to fail. If there's no interaction at this level of price, which is a premium for buyers, price should flush down to where we initially entered the buy from. That's what should happen. Can I short that? No. Why? Because we're at the range low, we're at the value area low, and we have no interaction. If we had seller results, buyer absorption here, yachi, take that trade. Take it and run with your money. But no interaction. No interaction at all. Now the delta is starting to creep up a little bit with the candle. I notice how the candle is turning red before the delta turns red, which just proves to me, look here, like there, just turned red, but the delta's still green. Proves to me that there's some buyers trying to take control of this level. They're accepting that this is some sort of premium price. But if we have some level of interaction, we can take it with them. I have no problem taking a buy here. Candle closes green with the delta green. Massive red candle. Delta's not following through. Candle's lower than the previous one. Delta's not even halfway to the previous candle. A lot of passive buyers, but sellers are taking control of this auction. Still can't take a trade because it just means sellers are dominating. If we have a price swoosh down with seller absorption, I'll be more than happy to take a trade. But for now, cannot. Worst case scenario, enter a trade and market data connection lost. That's worst case scenario. But I'm 80% chance that that the sellers are going to take control. Aggressive candle, but the delta is at the lows as the previous one. So as soon as the delta crosses the low, we should see price flush down, but we haven't seen that yet. Tiny wick, but not enough. I'm not interested in taking a trade here. Let me check our 10-minute chart. It's getting to a point where I am anticipating some sort of execution that can happen. And this would be most likely our final trade for the day. Okay. We want to see this 1-minute candle close above this cluster because it just shows that acceptance of price relative to volume, but we're having no interaction whatsoever. Price goes up above that cluster, wicks down instantly. Sellers are trying to dominate the level. This proves how weak it is with no interaction of sellers. No aggression. We have a volume and efficiency zone. Price closes neutral to relative to the range, but the massive wick there is showing some level of absorption, lacking that level of interaction of buyers and sellers. But we should see something soon. We should see something soon, especially how it's accumulating at the value area low here, right? If we take a profile of the whole range, let's see where we're at. at the POC. That makes sense. POC, point of control, is where the most volume is transacted. But since there's no level of interaction of buyers and sellers, so I mentioned an 85% chance that sellers dominate this level, because the last interaction, sellers won the battle. Buyers came in, no result, got absorbed. Sellers came in, result. So they're still in control until something else happens. Delta is now climbing and broke the lows, price didn't. So if sellers can aggress this level, we should sweep down. Okay, 5-minute candle closure. Let's look at this. Delta closed positive on this candle, if I'm not mistaken. Well, kind of neutral positive, but the candle is red, deep red. Let's see if we can get some interaction here. I'm interested in trades on both sides, but I need to see more interaction from a perspective of volume. Like if we had a absorbed seller here, I would have taken the buy stop above the 63 buyer, the same trade we took before. Okay. Price is slowing down at this zone. Let me drag a profile of this distribution, and this is the valley area high of this distribution. That's more information right now. So between here is a very important zone, between 240 and 280. So we have a 44-point range where we can show some level of interaction, take a trade. I'm now leaning more towards the buy side just because there is an interaction of sellers. Like this is the point of price where sellers should aggress. If they're not aggressing over here, what does this tell me? That this is still going to be a range and we can capitalize off of taking a premium price of buys. But I'm not seeing any interaction, so I can't do anything. Possibly in the next 4 to 5 minutes. Let me just keep my hands ready because this can happen very quickly. In a market like this, you have to be very quick. Because right now we sat for 2.5 hours and we made minimum wage. Come on, bro. I could have went to McDonald's and make more money. You know what I mean? Sir, welcome to Mickey D's. Mickey D's. Welcome to Mickey D's. McDonald. Guys, I'm sorry, but what is this? In my head, I'm waiting like any second for interaction, but there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Ooh. At least I know it's bouncing off a valley area high of the previous distribution, and we rejected valley area low of the current distribution. Any second you should see buyers or sellers aggress. Any second now. Okay. Yeah. This is a really important zone. There is a massive seller. I would take the absorption of this guy, but that's huge. That's a huge seller. That's huge. That's huge, man. Like if this was a 68 seller getting absorbed, 70, 80, 190? That's huge. I'm gonna be way more cautious with this one. Because they can come with a value area low, the previous, and then flush it down as if for a reload. Because he's willing to enter 190 contracts over here. I'm sure he's willing to enter 200 up here Or is it same 190 up here? Look, a buyer comes in, aggresses the level, okay, gets absorbed. So there's a big battle going on here. I just, the reason I don't want to take a trade is because I just think we're going to get stopped out easily in an environment like this, especially with the size of these contracts. Five-minute candle closing soon. Yeah, that's what I mean, man. Buyer absorbed, seller comes in. That would have been a nice actual sell entry. I just wouldn't know where to put my stop loss. Maybe above here, but it's too complicated. I'm not gonna lie. It's not worth it. If this was a trending day, directional, that's a nice entry. Five-minute candle close here. Domination of sellers. That is 25 minutes of red closures on the 5-minute side. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Huge wick. Exactly into these cluster of buyers, which is pretty nice. Okay. I want to take a trade here. I just don't like it. I feel like we're gonna squeeze, so it would have to be something like this. But because of the size of this, I just think it can easily hit our stop loss and then move in the direction. I have to play more defense here. Yeah, I think you're gonna see a squeeze here. Let's see if we were right, because I would have entered like this. Buy stop, stop loss on this seller. This is what it would have looked like. 1 minute closes nicely. Do sellers use this as an opportunity to enter a premium or not? If they do, then we're screwed. I wouldn't have been break even here. Here I would have had to be break even. So there's a seller entering an opportunity for premium. Coming back to the price the buyers bought at, who achieved that initial result. Do buyers accumulate their orders here? Or do they breach the 190 and capitulate? They test the 190, wick onto it, and then move back up. So there's a lot of passive orders here. Let's see how this 5-minute candle closes, and we'll see if we can take action. I would have been stopped out break even if I entered this one. Just delete this. Delta's climbing. Buyer comes in. Gets
Connection lost.
Man, imagine I was in a trade. That would suck. Bro, if this doesn't come back in 30 seconds, I think I'm cooked. There's a possibility to engage here. Man, come on, guys. Man, it's so frustrating. This is the candle expanding to the stuff like, ah, salam, ishik. Huh? Man, come on, what is this? I will take
Disconnected.
the trade. Yahi, what's going on, man? I would engage somewhere here.
Connected.
Okay, back. Okay, let's see. Our 5 minute looks good. Fuck, man, it's already breached. I can't take it anymore. Okay, let's see. Because we broke back above the value area low of this range where I expected sellers to reload, but the sellers got completely absorbed. Let's see if we can take this.
Order partially filled.
If this buyer can
Order
reclaim,
filled.
if we break above the session high again, I have to go break even because then it will squeeze down. I'm gonna go break even right here. Very aggressive with the break even because this is a session high and it can get very, very volatile. Either squeezes up instantly or we reject. Wait, let me take profit up here. Put this a little bit down. Because sellers can re-engage over here, but if buyers claim the session high again, we're gonna squeeze so aggressively like you guys haven't seen today. Look at the delta climbing up. That's what I'm liking. But I also understand and see how can this can come down. Okay, let me protect more, just a little bit for the spread. Okay, let's see if they can squeeze this. Because also London closed. Okay, I'm gonna protect a tiny bit more. I'm not liking this auction. Last chance for buyers. I don't like
Order
this auction. I
cancelled.
don't like this auction. I don't like how it's ticking.
Order partially
I
filled.
usually never mark it out,
Order filled.
but the fact that we had this level of aggression and we're seeing price tick, tick, tick exactly where these massive sellers came in, and this is where like the biggest delta we have recently in this local price, I see how price can come back to our entry. So I'm just going to be way more conservative because we're in a choppy day. But in a normal day, I would have left that at break even and just let it run. But I think we just take our money and leave. Especially with the size of this 190. Like, yeah, he got absorbed, but where would they re-engage? At one place, the value area low of the whole range, or where the previous sellers came in. And I just didn't want to give back to the market. That was a quick 1 to 2. I'll take a 1 to 2. Like this. You see that? That's what I was expecting to happen there. It goes down to where we are, stop loss break even, and then rallies up. That's been happening the whole day. And look, the delta is staying high, but look at the aggression of this candle. So I think we just take our money on and leave knowing the environment for today. Be more conservative. Comes back, tests our entry, what happens now? Do we rally back up or do sellers take control? Exactly where the delta, the biggest delta we've seen in this whole range. Right here in this distribution, not excluding this one. I'm talking where we are locally. That's where sellers have a higher probability of reloading. So I'm not interested in holding the trade or trailing it or leaving it risk-free. If two things, I know the type of environment we're in, and two, I know where sellers are more likely to reload because I know it can come back to my entry and then go up. We had that happen 3 times to us today. You know, so let's take our, this is called being discretionary instead of quantitative. Asking why and the reasonings behind every trade instead of just saying, okay, let's just follow the statistics of if the model is validated or not. I know my model is validated, but now I'm being more discretionary because I'm aware of the technical environment we're in today relative to order flow and momentum. The momentum isn't really there, but I can read the order flow. So they both have to align very well, and then we can just leave our trades. But let's just keep it there for now, you know. So if we get another chance to enter, we get another chance to enter. But for now, we try to capitalize on the fact that we're at the bottom of the range, which is a premium price for buyers, but it's just not that much level of interaction and volume for buyers to come in and move price up very aggressively because of the balanced auction we're seeing. And we don't want to really trade balance. We want to trade imbalance to have that directional volatility instead of that compressed volatility, which means price wicking up and down and staying within a certain number of points within the assets we're trading. So yeah, a nice 5-minute candle closer. Look at this. It closed neutral to bearish. So I'm glad we're out of this one. I really had to adapt to that one. If I didn't adapt to that, I think I just would have lost money or given back money. And considering we were down like, how much today? We were down like 2,700. Recovered the loss on that. Took a nice trade. And we just have to be more patient and wait. Because me getting hit break even and price rallying up, especially with me sitting down for how long now? Like 3 hours now? Come on. What's up, Danny? We're good, man. How you doing? Danny Volnek. Danny Volnek. Mr. Volnek. Yeah. They say that a hero could save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. Good to hear, man. Also, let me make sure my volume is 0. That's why I'm here. Look up on my group. multiply. Dilly dally yummy yummy gimme yummy Spotify. Telling me I'm not qualified. Yeah, sure, you wish you looked like that. Okay, guys, let's see. Not you, until you stay. What concepts are you trading? I'm trading order flow and I'm trading my own algorithm combined. So I started trading order flow around 3 months ago. I have my own model, which I've built over the past 6 years. But I wanted to refine it and fine-tune it by introducing order flow to it to really refine which trades I'm taking, which trades to be more aggressive within, and which trades to hold longer, which trades not to take. So ever since I've been using order flow to refine what I already know, I've been more interested in scalping rather than swing trading. What I usually do is swing trade, hold my trades for longer, or buy stocks and hold them based on what my model says. But instead of being more quantitative, I can choose to be more of a discretionary trader, understanding the relationship between my model and order flow and seeing the actual auction. So pretty much, I'm trading order flow with my model. To answer your question. I'm live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tune in, man. I'm a real trader. I'm a real trader. I'm not your guru sitting there telling you I trade. I'm not gonna sit there making videos until I have 3 months of me trading live, and that's what I'm doing here. That's what I started doing. We were on Kick, but Kick removed our VODs. I didn't know how it works. I'm new to all this streaming stuff, and I had a couple of live streams from 2 3 years back, trading gold on a CFD platform, which I don't do anymore for scalping, but now we're forced to be on YouTube. Are you trading with fund or a live account? This is a live account. I've never traded at a prop firm. Not my type of style. Because imagine you put in the work and you grind your ass off. You get I don't know what the vocabulary is for prop firms, but you get funded, I think, and now they tell you, oh, sorry, you took a trade and you didn't hold it longer for 2 minutes or 1 minute, or you took a trade and it was 3 minutes before news. We're not gonna give you your money. For me, that's unacceptable, right? So I choose to trade my own capital. But I understand it's a completely different type of trading from my sense, but this is a live account. And you can see here, it says IBKR, like just to keep it transparent, Yeah, guys.
Connection lost.
Connection lost once again. Let's see if we can reconnect. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's from Interactive themselves. I usually when I restart, it starts to fix itself, but if I close the platform, I'm not gonna open it back up. I know myself. Nice absorption on our key level, acceleration zone, but still no interaction. I'm not seeing anything from my end or the order flow end, so I'm not gonna look to engage anytime soon. Let me see if we can reconnect. Okay, we're connected back on Interactive. This should reconnect in any second right now. I'm Kuwaiti. Kuwait. Yeah, we're disconnected. Our data
Disconnected.
is, but our broker isn't. Let's see if we can get back online. Yep.
Connected.
There we are. Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Market
Connection
data connection
lost.
lost.
Yes, sir, I do.
Market data
Connected.
connection re-established.
There's Charles again. One second. Okay, guys, I don't think we're gonna have any more trades for today. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not liking this auction. We had some volatility we could take advantage of in the beginning of the session. But what we can do now is just go through the trades we went through. I'm just gonna declutter our chart so we can see it well. Okay, now show historical orders. Okay, so the first trade we took is we noticed that sellers were taking control, especially how they started showing result at this 204 contract, 94 contract, buyers being absorbed at the same level. Sellers took control when we had a massive cluster of sellers over here. Let's just mark it down. Okay, then when we had the sellers revisit that level, we put a sell stop under these sellers with a stop loss over, just in case buyers tend to attempt to re-engage. Attempting an aggressive flush down based on the amount of volume that was entered at this zone. We got stopped out, risking 500 per trade. And because these massive sellers all got absorbed and buyers took control of the auction, we decided to start attempting some buys, anticipating move up within this compression. We saw these 61 buyer get some result, the 81 buyer get absorbed. So we wanted to see if we could come back, give buyers a chance to accumulate orders, which they did. And when we saw that, we started taking our first buy stop above the 63 buyer with a stop loss under him. We attempted the idea twice, but because of the compression, we got stopped out twice. So I didn't want to take the same idea again. Right? Now, we were down 3R, $1,500. And we then waited very patiently. We noticed that indeed the buyers did aggress, did show result. Sellers did try to get aggressive, but they got absorbed. And once we got a retracement, if I'm not mistaken, into our session high, our cash session high, which if I'm not mistaken was our value area high. If we drag it a bit back, I think I dragged it to here. I'm not sure. It wasn't our value area high, but it was our session high. We started to see buyers come in and show a result in price after seeing sellers try to take control of the auction. Buyers came in, we put a buy stop loss under the buyers. Price rallied up. Sorry, actually we initially took a trade over here. Seeing sellers get absorbed, buyers aggress. We took a stop loss under these sellers, attempting a nice little squeeze based on the huge 1.3% gap we opened down in. And then we tried the idea again, right, with these buyers showing result, but we got stopped out break even. Us being down around 4R, we should have been more conservative and actually closed that trade. But because we were down 1.3% from the previous cash session open, we wanted to anticipate some sort of violent squeeze before sellers start to engage in the auction again and reaccumulate their orders, so we can aggress to the downside once again, right? We then attempted that same idea after being stop break even, after putting a buy stop on the 93 buyer, but we aggressed to the upside. Buyer got absorbed. We should have trailed our stop, but the same reasoning for why we didn't trail our stop, because we were attempting a massive squeeze and we wanted to give it wiggle room for buyers to accumulate, and we got stopped at break even. So we should have actually closed these trades and just kept moving, anticipating that we're gonna compress for the rest of the day. But it was still a nice attempt. I'm gonna have to review those. We took one more buy over here, buy stop over the 85, anticipating a squeeze. Sellers took control of the market. Our stop loss was under this seller, under our key acceleration zone. We waited patiently. We took a sell after this 91 buyer got completely showed result. Then in the next candle, 1 minute candle, got absorbed. So we put a sell stop under him. We showed some result. Price came back up. This seller got initially absorbed. We had our stop loss at break even. We got stopped out. We came back to where the 294 contracts of sells initially took control of the market, but the buyers said no. We initially saw this seller get absorbed. We put a buy stop over the buyer, stop loss under the seller. We squeezed up. We moved our stop loss to break even. We attempted to trail our stop loss, but we didn't do it because it was a massive contract, 110 contracts of NQ coming in. So we wanted to give it some wiggle room. Initially got completely absorbed, which was kind of scary in the moment. But because it was a bigger order, if this was a 50 contract, I assume it would have hit stop loss. But we left it at break even and we banked 2.7K on that trade. So that brought us back to break even for the day, plus 100, 200, I think. We waited, and then we saw the absorption of this massive seller over here, buyers starting to engage, get absorbed, then starting to re-engage again. Sellers come in, get a result, then again show result, buyers come in once again. We took a buy stop with a stop loss under the buyer, and we then actually marketed out because we had information that for the rest of the day we were going to compress. More likely, the probability was we're going to compress. And I didn't like how price was wicking, because this should have been a zone for acceleration. This is our cash session high. If buyers accepted that this price was now discount for them, they should have pushed price up to the range high, but they failed to do it. And I could see it, some absorption of buyers within the wicks. So I decided to market execute out for 2R, and price followed exactly where we would have been stopped out for break even or full loss. But for now, we're completely done for the day. I can see the delta climbing. I can anticipate how there can be an aggressive move later in the day, but I'm not willing to watch paint dry. I'd rather just save my capacity, save my risk for another session. But yeah, we're here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, every day of the week. That's minimum 3 streams a week. But yeah, for now, I enjoyed the stream. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It was fun. We had a nice little squeeze moment. But yeah, I'll just wait for the delay to catch up, and I'm gonna call it a day. But thank you to everybody who showed up. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad, and I know that the stream is gonna stay up. But yeah, guys, I will see you all next week, and we'll be back. It was a nice first stream on YouTube. Thank you all. Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.